Well, we're off to one hell of a start.
Here we go! This night, you're gonna find that nightmares do come true. We will find you. This night, you're gonna find that people.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to 31 Days of Horror, Year 3. I'm Morgan Film Fan. This is Day 1, and today is Island of the Living Dead. This is by Bruno Mattei. This film was released by Intervision and released in 2006. So, this is one of the worst dubbed films I've ever seen in my life, and I am not kidding. This is literally probably the worst dubbed film I've ever seen in my life. There is no way that the people dubbing the voices in this film were not being comical. It's that bad. It's literally played out like a comedy with dubbing. I can't even with the voiceovers on these characters. The acting is bad enough already, but I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, that is literally how I have to start this review is just the dubbing itself. Wow. But anyways, Bruno Mattei is actually a very, well, experienced and talented filmmaker. And I guess a lot of directors in their later years, they start taking it easy or something, because this is a pretty amateur film in my opinion. Synopsis-wise, you get, well, it starts off with these seemingly colonial, this seemingly colonial battle on this island, the way everybody's dressed and stuff, and the weapons they're using, and they're fighting off this herd of undead that basically all these people have like sacks on their head, and they're like wrapped up in towels and shit, and they're coming back to life. They're raising from the dead, and they're just being shot, and these colonial people are being massacred and eaten alive, basically. So you get that as the opening, and then it cuts to modern day, 2006, modern day, and you basically have this group of treasure hunters, and they're on a boat at sea, and they're looking for treasure, and then they find this treasure chest basically, and end up losing it. And then they end up basically stranded on this island, and they start to explore it, and then they find a bunch of undead walking zombies. And they start being picked off one by one, and that's basically your plot. They also find a fortress on the island, which is, it's basically run by, like, the undead colonial people. This film, it's not just your typical undead. There's some like cult stuff going on as well. Some of the zombies, like, they have the like real gothic like black cloaks and painted like skeleton faces, which is pretty interesting. It brings something different to the zombie genre that you don't really see too often. But yeah, this crew of characters, they really don't have any unique personalities. So, I mean, you got, by name, you got Victoria, Mark, Fred, Sharon, Max, and Captain Kirk. But really, like, their names are so, like, they're so point, because they're not really, oh, you got Snoopy, too. Snoopy is probably the most interesting. He wears this Snoopy shirt all the time from Charlie Brown. So he's memorable, but everybody else kind of like blends together, and they're just there to scream and get killed, basically, and chased by zombies. But yeah, and then it's revealed that these colonial people were this Spanish explorers called the Natividad, that they came to this cursed island with a shit ton of treasure to kind of leave it there, and this island has a curse on it that anybody who dies in it is resurrected and basically damned for eternity on this island. Hence why these zombies, form this cult in this fortress and all that fun stuff. There's thoughts on this movie. There's a well, it's it's such a fun film, but I can't deny how amateur it is. It's pretty ridiculous. Even the zombies, they look cool, but they're so amateurly done. It's insane. It's still a fun film though. There's a scene straight ripped from Night of the Living Dead. Instead of the whole "they're coming to get you, Barbara," the guy's like, "They're gonna get you, they're gonna get you," and then the zombie starts walking to the graveyard. You're like, this is clearly straight out of Night of the Living Dead. There's also a scene that's inspired straight from Lucio Fulci's Zombie, where there's eye horror, where this girl is being pulled by a zombie into this spike, and you can see the spike like right on her eyeball, and you think it's gonna like poke right through, and she's like, ah. So that's straight out of Zombie, and it's blatantly obvious too. That's the funny thing. Like they're not even discreet about it. Zombies can regrow limbs in this film, which that's something else that I've never seen in a zombie movie ever, and you certainly don't see it very often. Two of the characters, Sharon and Mark, they discover these barrels of wine, and they decide to, of course, try it, because when you're stuck on a cursed island, what else is there to do besides get wasted, right? So they start drinking this wine. Buddy's like, "Wow, this actually tastes pretty good," in the cheesiest dubbed voice you can ever imagine. It's one of those typical Italian films too, where you can tell the actors sometimes are speaking English and sometimes they're speaking Italian or some other language entirely, and nothing matches the lips ever, ever. It's so bad. And like I said, they must have purposely picked the worst voice actors, or they must have just done it for comedy, because I can't see any other reason. But anyways, they're sipping this wine for like 10 minutes, and then finally they realize, or the Sharon realizes that there's worms in her cup, and it shoots to the cup, and there's like worms like bouncing all over. It's like, you didn't notice that? Come on, write me a better script, give me a better screenplay. I mean, you can laugh at this movie and you can have a great time with it, but my god. There's a scene where a zombie is playing Spanish guitar. And there's a few scenes actually, including that one, which you don't really know if it's hallucinations or not. But they're fun anyway, and it's not like it really matters. But the zombies are cool too, because they're all basically these colonial people from back in 1688 was when this island got cursed, and this situation happened where these people were damned for eternity. So everybody's using, old-fashioned weapons and old-fashioned guns. It's pretty cool in that sense. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the film. Quality-wise, I'm probably going to have to give this a 21 out of 100. But entertainment-wise, it's not bad. Like, if you're going to get a group of friends and have some brews and have a cheesy old time, just kick back and laugh at a movie, it's great. But I mean, to be fair and to be honest, I think I would land at 21 out of 100. Why out of 100? Because I hate decimals. So that covers day one, and yeah, until tomorrow. Thanks for joining, and give me a subscribe. Subscribe will mean the world to me. And yeah, until next time, cheers.